Welcome back. Welcome back. Your man Dominic K in here, of course, the Dominic K Show on fire-tv.com, on fire broadcasting. I'm here, and there are a lot of things that I need to talk about. First of all, Kamala Harris is starting to roll out her policies here and there. Folks have been hitting me up saying, where's your girl's policy? Only thing that's on her website is how to donate money. Well, what is she for? You know, all that kind of stuff, right? So they start to say that. And, of course, she has been running for president for, 2 weeks now? Not a lot of time. Not a lot of time at all. So she is, in many instances, trying to distance herself from Joe Biden. On a lot of things, and then definitely here and there, she's kind of standing with him. Different things. She's got to make her own way. So she has been slowly rolling out her policy, and it seems like the first campaign policy, if elected, is going to be no taxes on tips. Service, hospitality workers, all that kind of good stuff. The hospitality unions have endorsed Harris over Trump, who has promised the same thing. Difference is she would actually do it. Donald Trump is full of it. He's talking. He is panicking right now. He is flailing. He is under pressure right now. So Harris has begun to roll out this policy. And she has been outmaneuvering former President Trump. She's also trying to get ahead of things, address some of her old vulnerabilities. This seems like a whole different candidate than she did in 2019. This seems like a whole new person. And she is doing her thing. Now, if she gets elected in November, the vice president is going to continue to expand this portfolio. Vice presidents very rarely even have a portfolio, but this is 4 years into Biden's presidency. She has been very cautious. Kamala Harris has very slow to approach the unveiling of her vision, her policy, and establish her own thing. Now, folks have been saying, and you hear folks saying, oh, the vice president, it doesn't matter. People are not voting for the vice president pick. And this is a different time. Maybe in the past, that was the case. Maybe in the past, it didn't matter who the vice president was. Those times are over. Never before have we had a woman, a woman of color, get as far as she has in this race. So to say that it doesn't matter who she picks as the vice president is silly. It is delusional. It matters a lot because she needs to have a ticket that has broad appeal. So it does matter who she selects. So it may have not mattered as much in the past when there was one old white guy and who may have picked another old white guy. It may not matter in that instance, but this is not where we are. If Hillary Clinton had picked a better candidate, maybe she could have won. It's possible she could have won. So the vice presidency is very important, and it has taken on a level of importance that it has not had in the past. So I think that Kamala Harris is doing a great job, considering the fact that she has been running for president for a very, very short period of time. And I think that it is good that she has been kind of flying under the radar for 4 years because Republicans did not have the opportunity to define her. Hillary Clinton, they've been defining who Hillary Clinton is, Republicans, since 1992. So you had years and years of them dumping on Hillary's name. And then when she runs for president those 2 times, it is, an uphill battle for her in a lot of instances. So Kamala says that in this election, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? The beauty of our democracy is that we have the power to answer with our vote and with our voice. Make sure that your voice is heard. Vote. So there's a website, iwillvote.com. iwillvote.com. So Hillary is trying to remind folks, I told you so about Trump. And we're starting to see a lot of the things that people have been saying over the years. We're starting to see a lot of it. Trump is glitching. Trump is very uncomfortable. He wishes that he picked somebody else. He should have picked Nikki Haley. That's who he should have picked for his vice presidential pick. But he's not trying to really win, is he? Or maybe he thinks he knows. He always says that he knows better than everybody else. He knows better than the generals. He knows better than the doctors. He knows better than the political folks. Well, clearly you did not, because J.D. Vance was the wrong pick. So Tim Walz, Kamala Harris are shoring up labor support. They are trying to establish that connection with the working class, the middle class. They were part of the middle class. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz addressed union members in Los Angeles today in his first solo campaign stop. Now, the appearance by VP Kamala Harris, her running mate, at a convention of American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees is part of this effort of the Democratic ticket to get that support from organized labor. Now, while they're trying to get that support from organized labor, Donald Trump is also making a play for working class voters. Harris recorded a message to play at the convention. Trump and his running mate, shady J.D. Vance, have advertised no public events for today. So they are trying to get that middle class, trying to get that working class, and Trump is flailing. He is glitching. He is buffering. He's doing all of those things. I'm not sure if you had a chance to check it out. Yesterday, a rambling, just a very weird Donald Trump participated in a conversation that they advertised as an interview with Elon Musk. It was marred by technical issues on X. Now, if you remember, when Donald Trump was at the National Association of Black Journalists convention, he was trying to say, "Oh, something's wrong with your equipment. I can't hear. But then he had a press conference, if you want to call it that, at Mar-a-Lago, and he couldn't hear stuff there. And at this conversation with Elon Musk that was very similar to the one that Ron DeSantis had when he tried to make his announcement, full of technical issues, Trump did not say, "Elon Musk, y'all don't know how to do things here. Something's wrong with your equipment," but their equipment was glitching like crazy. And there were a lot of trouble to be had. But there was this conversation. He has this conversation with Elon Musk, Trump and Musk. And the conversation was filled with lies. I mean, it's Donald Trump, so there's no surprise there. A lot of lies told. So the conversation, and they spoke for roughly 2 hours. Former President Trump and Tesla founder Elon Musk. Now, Musk owns X, Twitter, All right, that's cool. We are streaming on X right now, but that's not going to stop us from telling the truth. That's not going to stop us from talking about what happened. So I guess this is a significant return to social media. He was reinstated. Donald Trump was last year. He made like one post, but now he is back. And so these two homies spoke for roughly 2 hours. Conversation, as I said, delayed because of technical issues that prevented many from initially even seeing the conversation. And it covered a wide range of topics, including the assassination attempt of Trump, Trump's views on immigration and the economy, and the future of energy production. Musk has endorsed Trump in this 2024 campaign. So yesterday marked the official return of Donald Trump to the social media platform, where, if you remember, he largely built his political brand. And he rewrote the rules around presidential communication on this platform formerly known as Twitter. So at the peak, the Spaces conversation, that's what they call it, Spaces, had more than 1 million listeners. Trump is someone who's been known as a prolific poster on Twitter, or back when it was Twitter. Now it is called X. And if you remember, his account was suspended shortly after the riots of January 6, 2021. The officials said that there was a risk of a further incitement of violence. His account was reinstated last year after Elon Musk bought the platform and rebranded it as X. I think he should have just kept it as Twitter, but yeah, what do I know, right? All right, so you had that. And the only thing Trump posted was a photo of his mugshot. He posted that on X. Now, while Trump avoided some missteps, he was slurring his words. He was sounding all crazy. And as more time goes on, the Republican folks can see that Trump is diminishing. Trump is the new Biden. But here's the problem. Y'all can't push him out. Y'all stuck with him. That's y'all guy. That's your guy. Former president's chat with Elon Musk resembled one of his rallies. Trump was rambling, attacking Kamala Harris and Biden as incompetent, and repeated many of the same lies that he tells at his campaign events. Now, he managed to focus on inflation. That's something that he focused on. But he avoided making the type of controversial comments that have plagued his recent appearances. He didn't call Kamala beautiful. She's a beautiful lady. Yeah, she's a beautiful lady. Now, he keeps calling her a San Francisco liberal who had changed her tune on issues such as fracking and defunding the police. He argued that Harris would revert to more liberal stances if she was elected in November. Kamala Harris is not talking about defunding the police. See, here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that she's this prosecutor that's putting all these people in jail, but she also wants to defund the police. You can't call her a top cop, and then she's also trying to defund police. But Republicans want to have it both ways. Trump is trying to do that. He also tries to attack her running mate, Tim Walz, for signing legislation that required schools to provide free menstrual products in all public school bathrooms. Ooh, okay, that's the best you got. That's the best you got. And we're going to talk a little bit later about some of the things that are out there about shady JD Vance. But some of Trump's recent appearances have been controversial. And it's causing allies to tell him, focus on policy. Trump doesn't know any policy. There's never a platform. Trump is doing the best that he could do. You remember that sit down with the NABJ that the former president attacked Harris about her biracial heritage, right? Trump doesn't know anything but those type of attacks. So he attacks her about being biracial, well, she got to pick a side, when the vice president pick that he has, Shady JD Vance, his children are biracial. So it's got to be uncomfortable for Vance. Trump attacks people that should be allies, like Brian Kemp in Georgia. And the press conference last week saw Trump bragging about the size of the crowd and tried to compare it to Martin Luther King's March on Washington, which it wasn't even close. And then talking about and being excited about and bragging on the rioters before they stormed the Capitol. It's very interesting. So he doesn't focus on policy, but he goes after Harris with personal attacks. And he's often rambling. And Elon Musk's response is kind of like, it's just, he's a terrible interviewer, but he's a famous person. And so he's going to have these conversations and he wants Trump to win. So, he's going to elevate him, promote him, and all that kind of stuff. But one other thing that Trump said that I think is important to talk about is the fact that he would shutter the Department of Education. He wants to scrap it. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education and allow states to handle the issue on their own. So this is, of course, he says, I don't know anything about Project 2025. This is echoing a proposal that is directly in Project 2025, ending the Department of Education. So here in Baltimore, Maryland as a whole, ending the Department of Education under the Project 2025, Trump's Project 2025, they screw up the education system here in Baltimore. And I don't think that it would be a lot better if the state of Maryland controlled it. We need federal support, and it's already not good, right? So can you imagine if every state did it? Oh, my God. It's already bad in many states. So this would just throw things into further chaos. But this is some of the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Trump does not know policy. So that's why you have organizations that are crafting policies that are terrible, but they're crafting policies and they're giving it to him. And he's just saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this, going to do that. He doesn't even know what he's doing. So Trump claimed that there are enemies within the country who are more dangerous than Russia or China. Plenty of name calling, the old stuff that he does. And it is interesting. Musk, like I said, is a supporter of Trump, and he frequently offered his own stance on certain policy issues, tried to coax the former president into agreeing with his point of view. Musk said that his views on climate change were that the country should not vilify the oil and gas industry, but we should learn and lean in some direction of sustainability. And Trump doesn't even know the meaning of many of those words. Trump previously said he's for clean air and clean water. He's so primitive. And that's why he said he likes the uneducated, because he's primitive himself. Trump talked about the largest deportation operation in the country's history if elected. He has falsely claimed that other nations are emptying their prisons and mental institutions and sending those individuals to the southern border, and that some entering the United States speak languages nobody's heard of. I mean, he says so many things that make little to no sense. He has gotten worse. So from 20 15 when he came down the escalators. His mind is going. It is going, gone. And so this is another event that was on X that was plagued with technical issues. I'm sure that there are going to be more events. And we're going to continue to follow this. Obviously, the election is coming up. Obviously, the seriousness of this election cannot be overstated. The importance of this election cannot be overstated. So, what is interesting, the UAW, which is the United Auto Workers, they have filed a federal labor charge against Donald Trump and Elon Musk. This is over things that were said during the X interview. And I don't know. It's interesting. So Donald Trump gets on X with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk, everybody thinks that they're so smart, but the UAW has filed federal labor charges against Trump and Elon Musk for attempting to intimidate and threaten workers. Oh yeah. These two are not that smart. They are not that smart. So they have these threats on video. Right? It's very interesting. So they have filed these charges against disgraced billionaires Donald Trump and Elon Musk for their illegal attempts to threaten and intimidate workers who stand up for themselves by engaging in protected, concerted activity such as strikes. After the delays on X, Trump and Musk had this disorganized conversation yesterday in front of what appears to be 1 million listeners, in which they advocated for the firing of striking workers. He said this, I look at what you do, Trump told Musk. You walk in, you say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone. Now, under federal law, workers cannot be fired for going on strike. They cannot be threatened, and threatening them is illegal under the National Labor Relations Act. So that is something. So according to the UAW, when we say Donald Trump is a scab, this is what we meant. When we say that Trump stands against everything our union stands for, this is what we meant, said UAW President Shawn Fain. Donald Trump will always side against workers standing up for themselves, and he will always side with billionaires like Elon Musk, who is contributing a reported $45 million a month to a super PAC to get him elected. Both Trump and Elon Musk want working class people to sit down and shut up. They laugh about it openly, like they did during this Twitter Spaces. It is disgusting. It is illegal. And it is totally predictable from these two clowns. Of course, you listen to the Don McKay Show on Fire, broadcasting on Fire TV. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with a few other topics here on a very late version of the show. And we are back, your man Don McKay in here. So karma is one of those things, right? Karma is when you put out some energy and then you get it back. The world is round, right? So you put something out there, the chance is going to hit you on the other side. So if you remember, back in 2016, Donald Trump was talking about, Russia, if you're listening, and hacked the system. He's like, WikiLeaks, they hacked Hillary's emails, and they wanted all this kind of stuff. And now news outlets have been leaked insider information, insider material from the Trump campaign. They have chosen not to print it. I don't know why. Donald Trump said that he thought that it's fine for you to print the stuff. When it was Hillary, he wanted you to print everything when it was Hillary. But now the Trump campaign claim that they have been hacked. Intelligence experts are warning of future election interference. They tried to hack the Harris campaign, according to reports. But for whatever reason, news outlets are not using the information that they have been given. Now, this breach involved a confidential document on shady J.D. Vance, leading intelligence experts to warn of future foreign interference in the elections. The Trump campaign claims that they were hacked by Iran. Okay, how do you know this? But the Biden-Harris administration strongly condemned any foreign efforts to undermine the electoral process. Now, of course, when it's Democrats, Republicans don't care. It doesn't matter. It's information. That's fine. But when it is the Republicans who've been, quote unquote, hacked, then all of a sudden, oh no, we can't do it. You can't do it. We've been hacked. And they cry and whine. So whether we're talking about dumb Donald or shady J.D. Vance, yes, shady J.D. Vance, then it's a whole different story. And speaking of shady J.D. Vance, the folks over there are not talking about the viral drag photo of shady JD. And it's interesting because the Ohio senator has been getting a lot of questions about this photo of him dressed in a blonde wig and some kind of a shirt and dress that has surfaced online and sparking controversy. Now, the fact that he's in drag, I mean, folks may remember Miss Tony. I produced many tracks for Miss Tony. Miss Tony dressed in drag, but Miss Tony wasn't walking around acting like, something that she wasn't or was. And ironically, shady J.D. Vance has called Kamala Harris a chameleon. But we can look at the photos and see that shady JD is a real life comedian. Now, this photo quickly went viral and has led many to accuse Vance of hypocrisy, especially given his conservative stance on the LGBTQ. So shady JD, are you with the LGBT or you're not? This is kind of strange. You talk about chameleons. Shady JD is a chameleon nonetheless. He has supported legislation that many folks view as discriminatory, including marriage equality. But this latest scandal has only intensified the scrutiny on his public comments and his political positions. Shady J.D. Vance. Now, understand this, folks. We have seen evidence of Donald Trump's glitching, Donald Trump's buffering, Donald Trump's stumbling and slurring, his mental decline. You do not want to elect Donald Trump and have shady J.D. Vance a heartbeat away from the presidency. This guy right here that is on the screen Can we possibly trust him as the president? Shady JD Vance? Are you kidding me? We cannot. We cannot do that. We cannot do that. Shady JD Vance has what I call Sarah Palin energy. Right? He is bad for the ticket. He is bad for the country. He is bad for his party. He is bad for his family. I mean, it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. We have got to send these to the dustbins of history, right? Donald Trump has threatened to go to Venezuela if he doesn't win. He wants to get out of the country if he does not win. And I thought this was interesting. Let's bring it up. So I thought this was interesting. The Trump family has no record of military service in 5 generations, 2 world wars, and over 150 years. Nobody in the family has record of military service. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was interesting. 150 years, you go back. Nobody. Yeah, they're not patriots at all, especially Donald Trump. Not a patriot. Let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, onfire-tv.com, On Fire Broadcasting. I also thought it was interesting. Isaac Hayes' family is threatening to sue Donald Trump for $3 million. This story breaking over the last few days. And the Trump folks have been served with this. And they've been using Hold On, I'm Coming, a song that was co-written by Isaac Hayes. And this is the paperwork. They have not responded to this paperwork yet. And I saw an interview yesterday with Isaac Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes III. And so they're serious about this. And so that is interesting. That is interesting. So definitely let me know your thoughts, of course, in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show. Of course, subscribe on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. I will be back here tomorrow with more of the program. We have a special guest tomorrow. We're going to be talking about a few interesting topics as well as the top news stories of the day. All right. Of course, you can support The Diamond K Show and On Fire TV via paypal.me/radio on fire. Of course, on Cash App, I am $ The Diamond K Show. You can become a member today on fire-tv.com/join and subscribe on youtube.com/DJ Diamond K. All right. So I will see you guys tomorrow.